Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about One Cut of the Dead. That's later. Before that, It's time for catching up with Ellie and Liam. Catch me up. What have you been up to? It's been like a couple of weeks.
Did I have something for this? When we spoke, did we say that neither of us had anything? Or did I have something?
I've got a couple of things, but I don't know what you've done in the last couple of weeks.
The problem with catching up with is I also don't tend to know what I've done for 2 weeks.
You're the one that did those things. Like, I remember what I've done, which is my contribution to catching up with. Your contribution is remembering what you've done.
The stuff I did. I know.
Yeah. I can start.
You start.
So regular listeners might remember a few episodes ago, I had some strong words for Kat around the topic of lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I think those words apply to Ellie. Don't they?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you want to tell the listeners what happened?
Okay, well, listeners, as has I think we've mentioned it on the we've mentioned on the show that there is a Captain Marvel special that exists. We have recorded it.
We've mentioned it on Twitter at least.
Yeah, we've also said it on the show. I think when Ashley was on, we were like, oh, we're going to do short reviews because the special's coming out on Thursday. Yeah, it didn't. So let me paint you the scene, listeners. It's 8:13 a.m. Yeah. Ellie has not just woken up, but just arisen from bed. I was awake for a little bit before that. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I was, because I think that was one of the days where I slept in and was like, oh shit, I need to get ready.
I got up at 6:30 that day.
Yeah, well, all right. Congratulations.
No, it's just days when I have to go into the office, which is Tuesdays, is awful.
Yeah, I have my early day on Wednesdays and that sucks.
Yeah.
So, 8:13 a.m. I know not very late for some people, but bear in mind I only get about 5 hours sleep on any given night, so I'm always tired in the morning.
Yeah.
Wake up to a message from Liam saying, how did the editing on the Captain Marvel special go?
Yeah, because I think you said to me it's definitely going up this week. Yeah.
We're still in that week.
Yeah.
I still have time.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit. I was meant to have spent Monday night doing it.
Yeah.
I've sort of implied I was going to do that. I hadn't.
Yeah. But that's not what you told me, is it?
That's not what I told Liam. What I told Liam was, I'm about halfway through.
Right.
It's such a weird thing to lie about.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Because you wouldn't have been like, oh, fuck's sake, Ellie, get on it. You'd just been like, all right.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And the only reason why I was messaging, it wasn't to be like checking up or anything. It was just because I was in the office that day. It was a case of, if you're going to put it live,
yes,
I can't do the social media until I get home at night.
Yeah. So I instinctively lied at 8:13 in the morning.
Yeah.
And now, listeners, you wouldn't be hearing this story if that was the end of it, obviously, because I'm a good liar. And Liam would never have known. It would have gone up, we'd have lived a happy little life, no one would have known that Ellie lied. What actually happened was I went to edit the Captain Marvel special that night when I got in and noticed that Liam hadn't uploaded his audio. So I had to sheepishly WhatsApp Liam to say, hey mate, remember when I told you that I was halfway through editing? I'm not. Your audio's also not uploaded. Could you please go and upload it? I'm sorry I lied.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't deliberate. I didn't remember that I hadn't uploaded the audio, so it wasn't like I was trapping you, which is a shame. I wish it had been. But
I'm glad you don't do that, because most of the time you're good at uploading your audio, and it would actually just be annoying for the main episodes. I tend to edit on a Sunday.
Yeah.
If I had to then be like, no, Liam, I need the audio.
Yeah, like we have had it before where I've forgotten and you're like, oh, I'm editing this now. Can you please upload it?
Yeah, we've had some real last minute rushes on Sundays.
Yeah, but I typically do try to remember. But this one, I'd completely forgotten. I wasn't like testing you or anything. I was just genuinely being like, if it's ready to go today, I can't social media it till tonight.
Yep.
And then Ellie just lied, you know. So when you host a podcast, there's definitely got to be a good element of trust.
I don't trust you.
Why not?
I don't trust you.
I'm very trustworthy.
You betrayed my trust by telling this story on the podcast. Touche, Liam. Touche.
It had to be told.
Yeah, no. I don't blame you for telling the story. Yeah. I would like to say that unlike Kat's white lie, which was completely justifiable and right, what I have done isn't defensible. And is also completely pointless.
Yeah.
This lie has benefited no one.
No.
At all. Nothing has changed because I lied.
Just gave you some egg on your face.
Yeah, just embarrassed me.
Yeah.
Bit me in the arse. On the arse. Bit me on the arse? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's why lying...
It didn't bite me in the arse.
No, it's why you shouldn't lie, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is almost like The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Yeah, it's like...
The editor that cried, I've done some of the work.
Yeah. It's what you would call a learning opportunity.
Yes, and I think I will learn from it. So expect a lot more messages in the future, Liam, where I just say, no, I haven't done it.
No. So, obviously, because you didn't do it, what were you busy doing instead with your time?
This is going to sound like an excuse, but genuinely, like, recovering, because I've had the most stressful weeks at work in the run-up to Game of Thrones.
Now we're getting on to catching up with stuff. So, what's been stressful at work? I think we talked about it briefly last time, because you were doing the Game of Thrones graphic last time. Yeah, I've been working on a Game of Thrones graphic, which has just, like... It's one of those projects where every step of the project, something else, like, will go to testing, and then the guy who's helping me test it will just be like, oh shit, there's this, like, really specific thing that if you do, breaks everything. And then I have to go and fix that, and then it just keeps doing that. Right, okay. So it's been fun. Did you get it done on time, though? Yeah, it went up for the first episode, and, you know, it's there. Good. It does stuff. Do you get to see, like, how much usage it's getting? Yeah, it's like alright. It's fine. Fair enough. Yeah. I imagine that's the sort of thing that you probably more enjoy working on, something like that, than like, I don't know, like the school leagues table, which is another big project that you do every year. Yeah. I mean, someone else is doing that now. That's good. Anymore. Yeah. That's so good. But yeah, I like that kind of stuff. And it's also, the problem with it is, it's one of those things that when you start it, you're like, oh, sweet. Game of Thrones graphic. I like Game of Thrones. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to have fun. And then it sort of drags on, and you're like, I like it less now. I like it less. And I wonder if it's going to kill Game of Thrones for me. And then, like, the other problem that's happened is because this thing, the way it works is, like, every episode, this graphic updates. It's like a choose your own, not choose your own. You, like, vote on how you think each episode's going to go. Okay. Like, who will live and who will die, or... It's more like, so it'll be like, oh, this is not a spoiler because it's an example from like, the prediction for episode 1. Yeah. So it's like, you know, the Army of the Dead are coming... how is the North, or where do you think the White Walkers have got to? Right, it's like, I think they're probably at the Winterfell, or I think they're past Winterfell, or they're still on their way to Winterfell. Cool. And it's just like that. Yeah. But episode 2 came out, and because the journos all stay up to watch it, or the ones that are reviewing it do, they've got the answers ready that morning, which I'm not seeing the episode till that evening. Yeah. So then when it inevitably broke, when we released the episode 2 one, I was like, fuck, I'm going to fix this, but I will not be looking at any of the questions, so someone else will have to tell me if anything breaks on that, because I won't look at them. That must make it a bit harder. It does, but also, like, I'm not going to let my job ruin Game of Thrones. No, exactly. Priorities are wrong there, but... Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. Cool. Have you done anything, like, fun? No. Monday. Oh, my Monday night, mate. Whew, lovely. I had a lovely time. Oh, you watched Game of Thrones? Actually, that might have been the reason I didn't do any editing, because I had like a 2-hour gap. I got in. Yeah. I had like a 2-hour gap before we were going to watch Game of Thrones, because we had it recorded, or maybe even longer than that. But like, people came around to watch the football with my dad, and I was in my room, and I was like, I could start editing now, but I'm not going to have enough time. I'm only going to get a bit of the way in and probably have loaded the fucking files. Yeah. And done the truncate silence. Yeah. So I'll just do it all tomorrow. It will be fine. And then, it went well. It wasn't. I mean, I've not got a lot to do because like all my spare time lately has been... So, let me take you back a bit. Before I went to Canada last year... Yes. I worked really hard on getting the YouTube channel, like, ahead. So, yep. I was away to Canada for like 2 weeks, and I got like a 3-week head start on the YouTube channel, because if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, and honestly, why not? It's all of our old content. You'll go and love it. Yeah, wow, fun. It's essentially, apart from Saturdays and Sundays, we have content that goes up every day, Monday to Friday. And when I got back from Canada, since then, up until like a week ago, I've always been like uploading the next week's episode on like a Sunday night, for example. So I've been like really just not getting ahead of it at all. Yeah. And then we're getting there now. We're about 15 episodes away from finally catching up. And I'm, for the first time, about 3 weeks ahead on the YouTube channel. So yeah. So you've got the content is up, ready to go, but not released yet. Sort of it's scheduled. So it gets released. It's all been scheduled and released ready. So for the next 3 weeks, content is there, good to go. But it's honestly taken me a year and a half to get to that stage where I'm not just constantly like scrambling last minute to get normally I'll get Monday and Tuesdays done earlier in the week, but I'll be struggling on like Sunday night to get the rest of the week up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
so yeah, now you're ahead.
Now I'm ahead. The goal is to just keep going with that. But it honestly has just taken up like all of my free time. Basically, has just been doing this. Movie watching has just been paused for a bit. So when you ask me later on what my number is, it's not going to have gone down a lot.
Not my fault.
No, everything has basically gone on pause just while I've been like... I think because I can see that the finish line is in sight, it's like spurred me on.
Cool. Oh, I'm glad insofar as once the YouTubers caught up, I'm going to be like, cool, now we're doing what we should have been doing the entire time. So, yay.
That's good. And I can also then start some of our side projects that we have going.
Yeah.
Have we spoken about those yet?
Maybe.
Let's keep it. If you're in the know, well done you. If you don't know what we're talking about, you'll find out on YouTube later this year.
Yeah, fun, exciting.
Yeah, exciting times. Got a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Listeners, I'm sure Liam mentioned it on the show. I can't remember that he was going to get this. Actually, maybe he didn't. Yeah.
No.
Liam got me all excited about this haircut he was getting, and he's just gone and just fucked it right up.
So here's what happened. I saw a hairstyle that Zac Efron liked. Well, not liked, that had.
Honestly, that would be way worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's already bad enough, the story.
No.
It's not good.
No,
it doesn't paint you in a good light.
It's fine.
But that would have been... Zac Efron was on Instagram and liked this picture of a haircut. No. So I went and got it.
I saw this hairstyle that Zac Efron had, and I was like, I think I could pull that off. And then I spoke to everyone, and everyone went, no, I don't think you can pull it off. And then the next step is I watched some Queer Eye, and I went, you know what? I've never gone to a proper place and just been Jonathaned, where I've sat down with someone and gone, look at the shape of my massive head, help me figure out what hairstyle will actually help. So I booked an appointment with someone and went and sat down, showed them a picture of Zac Efron, obviously. It was like, I'm thinking like this, and they looked at my hair and looked at me, she was like, yeah, I think your head could pull that off. I was like, brilliant.
I think your head could pull that off.
Basically. They brought out some different colours. And they're like, so this is the
you've
colour...
not actually mentioned that you were going to dye your hair as well.
Oh yeah. I haven't dyed the whole thing. I've just
you didn't. All you've said so far is you were getting a haircut, and then suddenly you dropped colours into it.
Yeah. Well, I'm building up
this
to
is
it.
the bit I was excited about.
Yeah, it brought out some colours, and it was like, I think this one would go really well with you because it's sort of it sort of matches your hair. But it looks like you've been out in the sun a bit, and it's sort of lightened your hair. And I was like, oh yeah, that's sort of what I want to go for. And
bullshit.
I think it's come out all right.
Yeah, that's exactly why you fucked it up.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, you wanted it to be bright blonde highlights.
You had sent a picture where it was almost frosted tips. Is what the picture Liam sent.
Yeah,
saying I'm thinking of getting my hair like this, and I was like, Liam, don't do it because that's stupid. But also, please do it.
The thing is,
and then he sent me a picture, and it just looks like his hair's a bit brighter than usual, on the tips maybe.
So I'm thinking.
Also, the haircut looks. No offense, it looks good. Even I was going to say fine, but it looks good. But it also looks a lot like your normal haircut.
Yeah.
So it's just so you've done all this story is Liam got a regular haircut and had a little bit of colour added.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Normally when I get my haircut, I'll just walk into somewhere, sit down and wait. Someone will cut it. The last time I went and had it cut. The very first time I had it cut after we moved, it was an awful experience. It was just this horrible woman that spent the entire time just shouting across the shop at someone else that was working there about how her boyfriend was showing up and leaving her flowers, but she didn't want them, and all this sort of stuff that I just didn't care about. And normally, when you factor in waiting time as well, I'm in and out in about half an hour.
Yeah.
This time, 2 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I've never had a haircut that's lasted that long before.
I have. You've now experienced what it's like to get a proper haircut, Liam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause I've never had. This is why it's a story for me. Because I've never had a proper haircut before, where I've actually gone to somewhere that has sat down and talked me through what they're doing and put some consideration into it.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
I agree.
Instead of clippering the back and sides, they scissor cutted it because they were your hair sort of grows outwards, and clippering it will just make that happen. Whereas if you scissor cut it, it's less likely to grow outwards, apparently.
We'll see.
But yeah, so I'm thinking, I like it. I think I could maybe get away with going a little bit lighter, but I don't know if I'm that bold yet.
Listeners, it's so difficult because he puts me in these positions, and I want to take it. I want to tell him to get it done lighter and just keep going till it's blonde.
Exactly.
What am I meant to do, listeners?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just keep going. Just keep going lighter and lighter. I mean, to be fair, I'm saying this. I'm doing the exact same thing with my hairdresser, where when I first got it coloured, it was like reddish. Like she's added a bit of red because I was like, oh, I quite like that. And she was like, oh yeah, cool. Did it. Not very much, just a little bit redder. So then the last time I got it dyed, I went, yeah, I just feel like maybe even a bit redder. And she was like, okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm getting I think my next like hair dye is next week, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to go, I think even redder.
Yeah.
And then I'm just hoping one day she'll just go, do you want it like really red? And I'll be like, yeah, I do.
Just how red like is fire. Too red?
Is that me saying that to her?
Yeah.
Is there a limit to how red we can go?
Yeah. Because someone that I sort of went to uni with has like really bright red hair at the moment, and it super suits her.
I don't want it bright red. I don't want like neon red. I just want like a dark red.
This is the weird bit, right? Because the thing that put me most off of getting colour is I typically don't really care what other people think of me. Like, if I'm out in the street, I don't care. But the thing that put me off, and I don't know why, is the thought of going into the office and having to deal with people making comments about it and stuff. And normally I don't care what people think, but for some reason it's just... And I was saying this to Kat, and she explained why perfectly. It's like, you would find that situation awkward because the attention would be on you.
Yeah.
And you just don't want the attention, which is why it's putting you off. And so I think that's why I like what I've gone for at the moment, because in all honesty, you can't really see that there's colour in it unless I'm in the sun.
It looks a little bit lighter. It's exactly like you said. Like, it looked like the guy said to you. It looks like you've been in the sun for a while and your hair's starting to get that little like...
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I can gradually go a little bit lighter.
Fuck me. Listeners, are you interested in this conversation where me and Liam talk about how we're getting our hair dyed? Next topic. No, I'm not insulting you. I was doing it too. I just suddenly had the realisation. I was like, we've just been talking about how we want our hair dyed for
it's
like
fine.
10 minutes.
Next topic, right, is another exciting topic. On the weekend, refitted our toilet seat.
Oh, God. Oh, the listeners, you're in for a fun one.
So, you might remember, the toilet seat in the cat's bathroom had like a little child seat on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was just awful and annoying. And then what happened is it basically got loose, and when Kat sat on it, it would start sliding.
Yeah.
So, went out, Wilkinson's, bought a new one, came back, and I learned how to fit a toilet seat onto a toilet.
Did you do it properly?
Yeah.
Is it still on there?
Yeah. Honestly, so every night before we go to bed, me and Kat say what was good about the day to try and, focus on positive things.
I hate you so much.
What? We had to list 3 things that was good about the day.
Who came up with this idea?
I did, because Kat was being really moany at one point or something, and I don't know, I thought it would help her focus on the positives.
Fair enough.
And then
you did it for a natural, nice reason.
Yeah, but then at another time, her counsellor recommended her doing it, and she was like, oh, actually, I already do that. And I felt really chuffed, because I was like, I suggested that.
Very good, Liam.
Yeah.
You're basically a counsellor.
Feels that way sometimes with Kat. Anyway, it's alright, just don't listen.
Jeez.
So yeah, I fixed it, see, and honestly, I did that on Sunday, and even yesterday, which was Tuesday, earlier today, I said to her, I'm still really proud of us for figuring it out. Because we have a bit of a reputation, right? Kat's mum at one point made a comment about how we're not very practical people when it comes to DIY things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, stick this in your pipe and smoke it.
I fitted a toilet seat.
I've never done it before.
Amongst men.
I've never done it before, and normally when it comes to DIY things, they go horrendously wrong. And this went really well.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you.
I've been up to.
Yeah, God. We've had fun weeks, listeners.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Let's just start reviewing stuff then, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
You've got loads, so do you want to go first?
Yeah, listeners, get ready for this. This is going to be a confusing episode for you, because you're all so used to Liam having 3 things, and me having 1 sometimes. I've got 3 things.
I've got 1.
Liam's got 1.
Yeah.
So get ready for 3 of Ellie's famously good reviews in this section that we like to call Ellie's done 3 things, and here are the spoiler-free reviews of the things that she's done, and Liam's only done 1 thing because he's a lazy Herbert.
There we go. What's the first thing you want to talk about?
I watched Shazam. You have already spoken about this on the show.
Yep.
And given your review.
Yep.
I would like to report that I think it's a completely cool film. Like, it's good.
Well, okay, wait. How good are we talking here?
I don't know. I'm still finding it so hard to rate, because didn't I said it was better than Wonder Woman?
No, I don't think you did say that.
I said Wonder Woman was better.
Yeah.
And then I went, it is. And then you went, you sure? And I went,
no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, immediately I went, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think I said that, but I don't know if I know.
You probably need to rewatch Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
But there's stuff in Wonder Woman that annoyed me, and I remember that, like, the end.
Yeah.
But then, did the end kind of annoy me in this? Maybe. Some of it. Okay. Not all of it. Some of it.
Right, okay.
It's good. It's not Marvel, is the thing. DC isn't Marvel.
Yeah.
The thing they did well is they didn't do a gritty, dark film.
They didn't, no.
And I think if anything, this has proven that they don't need to.
Yeah.
Because they can make a good film without doing that.
But this is why I think you should watch Aquaman, because that also isn't a gritty, dark film.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Aquaman.
Yeah. It came out recently on, like, Blu-ray or whatever.
Oh, cool. So I can, I'll try and catch it on something.
Yeah.
Like, it's legitimately a fun film. Like, you have a good time watching Shazam, and, like, it's not the best film ever, but you come out of it at the end and you're like, I had a good time, and yeah. Cool.
And I think, like I was saying in my review last episode, I still like that they haven't exactly, like, completely ignored this universe.
Yeah.
It's tied in nicely without being, like... You don't feel like you have to have watched other films.
No, exactly. There's nothing reliant on the other films. It's just, like, it nods and says, yeah, those films exist. Like, we're in that universe, but you don't need to...
Yeah, it's not like... I think with Marvel, there's definitely, like... It's got to the point now with Marvel where they've changed it almost, where you have to watch each film because they tie so well into each other.
Yeah.
And obviously I think DC wanted to do that, but I'm pleased that they're going down a different path now.
Yeah, but we'll see when some of their other projects come out.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this before. They definitely do seem to be scrambling to try and, like...
Oh, yeah. 100% they are.
But if they do more in this vein, I think they'll be on the right path.
Yep,
but then again, that said, like... I mean, we both enjoyed Suicide Squad, right? And that also didn't massively tie... Like, obviously, it had Ben Affleck's Batman in it for, like, all of one scene. But there was nothing else that really tied it into anything else that was happening.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think DC are doing better now when they have these films that aren't tied into that, or, like, aren't heavily trying to tie together.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine having the references and stuff, but they don't need to make a big shared universe where everyone's meeting everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. I do wish that we still had Ben Affleck as Batman, though.
Yeah, well.
He's great. But, so for you now, how many good DC films versus how many bad DC films?
3 good.
Yeah.
How many have they released?
So let's go back. You got Man of Steel, good or bad?
Bad.
Batman vs Superman,
bad.
Suicide Squad,
good.
Justice League,
bad.
I'm not doing these in order. Wonder Woman,
good.
And then you had Aquaman, which you didn't see.
Haven't seen.
And then Shazam,
good.
So
I think I'm 50-50.
Yeah. So Aquaman could be the decider.
But even then, right? Say Aquaman is... Say I watch Aquaman and I'm like, that's a good film.
Yeah.
The problem that DC have got is that's not the backbone of their franchise. Like, if you look at Marvel, I'd say the backbone, especially... like, so at the start, the backbone was Iron Man.
Yeah.
And they slowly built other films into the backbone. So, like, films that are the core part of Marvel. That when you think Marvel, like, you think Avengers.
Yeah.
You think Thor, Captain America... Maybe not the Captain America films. I don't know, actually.
I would consider those.
I mean, they are, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. But whereas DC, the like core backbone of, like, Suicide Squad isn't a core DC film.
No.
Like, no one's sitting being like, Suicide Squad, that's DC.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, the main films have sucked, except one.
Yeah, I am excited for the Suicide Squad sequel, and also the Birds of Prey film.
Yeah, I'm just so worried about DC that I can't
You can't get excited.
about these films.
I think the thing is, DC have
I wish I could, because Birds of Prey,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
But I'm just so worried.
DC have done a good job of casting. So if they can get these people good scripts,
yeah,
and not meddle with the directors, because I think that was one of the big complaints with Suicide Squad, then they could be onto something. But from my perspective, the issue with DC is, like, coming from the top down.
Oh yeah, I 100% think that's what it is.
Yeah, which is
there's just too much meddling and trying to push the idea of what they want onto the directors.
Yeah, and putting money first.
Yeah.
But no, I think Shazam is definitely encouraging. It shows them, I think, starting to veer onto the right path.
Yeah.
What did you think of Zachary Levi, or Levi, however you say his name?
I like him. I think he's good in it.
Yeah, and I thought the kids were good as well.
Yeah, I think everyone is a bit of a broad statement, but I liked a lot of the acting in it.
My only complaint was the villain.
I didn't mind his acting, but
Yeah.
the villain himself was a bit. It's the sort of not quite the same, but it's very close to the issue a lot of these films have, where it's like the first film has a villain who is the hero but bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's very close to that. It isn't quite, but it is touching against it.
Yeah. I hope we get a sequel.
Yeah, I'd like to see one. Like you said, Black Adam's a thing that might be happening, right?
Yeah, The Rock is attached.
Yeah, and he's in the Shazam universe, like, specifically.
Yeah. How would you feel about Shazam interacting with other people in that universe?
Don't need it, don't want it.
Fair enough.
I don't want DC films to have interaction.
Fair enough. I mean, the direction they're going in, it seems like they're deliberately not.
Yeah, but who knows? In like a year, they might be like, we're doing Justice League 2, and it's Shazam, the Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey.
I'll tell you what, if they did a Justice League 2, and it was like the Justice League and Shazam versus Suicide Squad, for example, I'm so there for it. If
it was Shazam versus Suicide Squad, I'd be there for it. If they try and put Superman in it, I'm like, I'm done with you.
What about Wonder Woman?
She can have a cameo.
Alright.
It's not her fault that she was in Justice League, but she was in Justice League.
That's true. What would you give it out of 5?
Maybe like a 3.5?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that feels right.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if anyone remembers or can find what I gave Wonder Woman, I guess that'll answer the question of which one I think's better.
Oh, I'm sure you gave that at least a 4.
Yeah, I probably did.
But I wonder if you still would on a rewatch.
Oh god, I don't know, it's too confusing.
Alright, next.
Liam,
Yep.
I went to the cinema and I saw Pet Sematary.
I want to see this. I don't know if I
it.
want to bother going to the cinema to see it.
No. Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Don't go to the cinema to watch it.
Why is that?
Right. Harry, my younger brother,
Yeah.
he sometimes listens, who knows. If you're listening to this, I'm entitled to my own opinion, as you are entitled to yours. It's a fine film. It's okay to good. That's the range this film falls in.
Okay.
My brother thinks it's like the best horror film he's ever seen.
So I've not. So there was a film that came out of this previously that I haven't seen.
Yes.
And it's based on a Stephen King book that I haven't read.
Yeah. I haven't read the book and I haven't seen the original film.
I actually knew nothing about the plot until I watched the trailer and then was like, oh, now I know too much about the plot.
Yeah. The trailer gives away way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Which is a classic mistake that these films make.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I do think a lot of the hate people are showing online, and like there's a very divisive, like, online people are either hating it or loving it, and I do feel like a lot of that probably comes from nostalgia for the old book and film.
Okay.
Because the reality of it is fine.
Yeah.
It's not the most amazing thing I've ever seen, but it's not shit.
Okay.
Like,
scary at all?
No, there was nothing. Again, this comes back to that thing where I used to think I was scared of horror films, and I'm slowly realising that I'm not. So I didn't find it scary. I could maybe see how someone would find aspects of it scary. Like, there's definitely creepy stuff in it.
Yeah.
And there's some scenes that are like that make you properly cringe. Like, oh god, why is it doing that?
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing to me that was super scary. Like, I didn't stay awake that night in a panic.
Right, makes sense.
Every time I see a cat sitting in the middle of a road or like a drive, I do stare at the cat and I'm like, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah. Okay. What was John Lithgow like in it? Because I know when he came up in the trailer, I was a bit like, I don't know why you're in this.
He's fine. His character feels a bit like they rushed to set up that character, and by doing that, it definitely comes across a little bit weird, but not not deliberately weird. Like, it feels like, oh, you've tried to rush me to a point where this guy's more important than he is or should be at the moment. Okay. But like, he's totally fine acting in it. He just plays an old man, like a bit of a doddery old man, and you're like, oh yeah, it's fine, I get it. Fair enough. The kids are fine in it, in my opinion. Yeah. I think the little girl is a good actress. Yeah. Out of 5? It's either a 2.5 or a 3. 2.75. Okay. Do you want to do your third one, or have you got more to say on Pet Sematary? Oh no, I was going to say it's like a 2.75 because it's like average to good, and I don't know where that falls. I mean, it's up to you, isn't it? I don't know, mate. Alright. Go on, you do your review. because I've done 2 in a row.
It's nothing exciting.
No, it is. You've been building it up, mate, so much.
It's not.
What is it?
What we did is we haven't really been watching a lot of like TV shows that much. Like Kat's given up with Umbrella Academy, which means I need to find my own time to watch it. And I'm still trying to get through Luke Cage, which I started several months ago. So yeah, I just don't make time to just watch TV shows by myself, especially once you start getting to like 45 minutes to an hour long, because I'm like, well, if I've got that much time to spare, I could watch a movie. Yeah. So so what we've been doing instead with dinner is we got a little app on the telly, UK TV Play, and we've been watching Taskmaster.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I like Taskmaster, it's good.
Yeah, it's great. We've watched 3 seasons. We just started season 4 last night, but I haven't finished it yet, so I won't talk about it.
I just watch here and there.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, I haven't seen any of season 4, so it's all great. And there'd been like you, I'd watched it here and there. I'd seen pretty much every episode of season 3, and then bits of 2 and 1. The episodes I haven't seen before are amazing, and rewatching it, it's really easy watching to have when you've got dinner on. For anyone that isn't aware of what it's about, you got a comedian called Greg Davies who was in The Inbetweeners, if you've seen that. He's got a little assistant called Alex Horne. They set 5 comedians some tasks, and then the show is just watching how those comedians got on with those tasks. At the end, there's a live bit, which is most of the time probably the worst bit of the show.
Yeah.
But it's still good fun. It's insane. What I don't understand is in the UK, TV shows are called series, but in America they're called seasons. What's that all about?
Why does that relate to Taskmaster?
Because it's UK shows, so I did 3 series. But typically, when I'm talking about TV shows, I'd say seasons. Because most of the stuff I watch is American.
Yep.
So
we call it a pavement. They call it a bloody sidewalk. Wild.
Crazy.
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go through like everyone that's been in the 3 series.
Yeah, don't. It's just a review, Liam.
Yeah, you've got like 5 comedians per series, but I want to say like my favourite ones are normally the grumpy ones. In the first series, you've got Ramesh Ranganathan, who's like just really grumpy and mean. I love it.
I love him. He's so good.
Yeah. Second season, you got Catherine Ryan, who I think she's wonderful. And then third series, yeah, sorry, just had a bit of a short circuit there. You had Paul Chowdhury, who's just amazingly grumpy, which I liked. But yeah, it's fun. The thing is, like after watching it, so for one of our anniversary specials, I wanted to get all of the guests on that we've ever had, but then figured that would be
idea. It's so unfeasible.
It would be a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, we could do something similar to this, but you don't think that's a good idea?
No, I think it's stupid.
So I don't know what we're going to do for our anniversary special this year then.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out.
I'll have to figure it out.
It's your turn.
Yeah,
but if you did help me figure out mine last year, so I might feel a bit obligated to help you.
Yeah, but you just like poo all of my ideas I have. So
no, I'm poo-pooing the insane ideas. That's like I can't even be bothered. Carry on. What do you give Taskmaster out of 5?
4 out of 5. It's solidly entertaining.
Yeah, it's fair.
When it is funny, it properly makes me laugh. If you're in America, try and watch it somehow. See what you think.
Yeah, I just love Alex Horne and Greg Davies. Their like banter back and forth is amazing.
Yes, it is stilted. It's probably the best word for it, and it's so good.
Yeah,
I mean, I really like Greg Davies. Have we seen him live? I think we saw him live. Yeah, I've seen him live, and he's good. Yeah, he's funny. So it's a show that works. Yep. Moving on.
I also watched a TV series on Netflix. I watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 2, which is technically, we think, Season 2.
IMDb lists it as Season 2.
Yeah, and it's split up on Netflix.
But I know when we spoke about this with Amanda before, she said there's like, Season 1 is like Part A and Part B, essentially.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Whatever, don't matter. Part 2. It's so good, Liam.
One thing I would like to say, for long-term listeners like Amanda, who had to listen to all of my Gilmore Girls reviews as a housekeeping, we've decided, because, we culture swapped the first season.
I don't think anyone cares enough. For
Amanda might. Amanda might be really confused right now.
I don't think she cares or is confused. Okay, I think she's probably adapted. I bet Amanda right now is going, wait, what am I confused about? And then when you explain it, she'll go, oh, okay, yeah.
All right.
Go on.
No, move on.
No, go on. Make your point.
No, I'm just saying, I wasn't allowed to review each season of Gilmore Girls after we did the first one for Culture Swap, because she said that wasn't allowed, so I had to put them in housekeeping. So I was under the impression that as soon as we Culture Swap something, if we ever did more of that thing, so like another season or whatever, it would come under housekeeping, but Ellie has decided no. So we came to...
is that the story you're going? Is that the story you're going with?
We then came to...
No, just very quickly though, Liam. Just very quickly, is that the story you're going with?
No, you decided...
Not that we had a 15-minute chat before this episode,
I'm getting to that.
where we agreed that we were
so,
just going to pick and choose what we put into culture swap and what we put into housekeeping.
You decided no, and then I said, well, why don't we just do it on like a case-by-case basis? So if I want to put something in housekeeping because I've already got 3 reviews, for example, I can. And if you want to make it into a whole review, you can. So
now, listeners, those of you that are paying attention will have noticed what Liam just said there sort of incriminates him somewhat, because I have a sneaking suspicion that the real reason that you had to listen to Gilmore Girls in housekeeping is because Liam will do anything to avoid my 3 reviews rule. He will do whatever he has to. I'm honestly amazed that we haven't had more emails, in air quotes, from like weird guests that seem to just write up Liam's reviews.
What? No, the thing that's amazing is that we've had Amanda in the past, like trying to help me get more reviews into the show.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I know. Everyone likes a review.
I think Amanda likes reviews.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so yeah, come on, Sabrina.
It's so good.
One thing I would like to say, I've heard one thing about it, and that is when we discussed the culture swap, we talked about how Susie was non-binary. It was a specific type of non-binary. What was she?
Yeah, non-binary.
Was that it?
Yeah. That's what we thought. Like, at that point, she hadn't come out.
And there'd be like the actor had said that was their life experience, and they were moulded that into the show. But what I've heard is in season 2, she actually comes out as trans.
Yes.
Yeah. Did they handle that well? Or...
Yep. Totally fine.
Okay. It wasn't just like thrown in or...
No. It's done. I think, if I don't remember how we talked about it, but from what I remember of what I said, I think they've done it the way I said they should.
Okay.
Which is, the show doesn't suddenly become like, Susie's trans, here's all that drama for a season.
Yeah, it's literally Susie's trans, no one goes, okay.
Yeah. Without spoiling it, that's kind of how... like, obviously not everyone, but the main crew are like, yeah okay, cool.
Yeah. So, that's the only thing I've heard about this season.
Yeah. It just gets so good. Like, everything in season 1, it's like season 1, but ramped up to just even more awesomeness.
Okay.
Sabrina being a badass witch.
We do need to get around to watching it, but like
I do, because I want to talk about it so much, but I can't.
I know. I think both me and Kat were like, we liked season 1, but Kat particularly dragged her feet when it came to watching it, and I think I'm gonna have the same with season 2. Trying to get her watching it, she's gonna be a bit reluctant.
Well, just get her to watch like 1 episode.
Okay. Have you got anything else to say about it?
It's so good.
Out of 5?
4.5 out of 5.
Do you remember what you gave season 1?
No idea.
Cool. Alright, bear with me a second.
Listeners, I think Liam's superhero senses just got triggered. And, I mean, he just literally stood up, walked out of the room, told me to wait a second. He's gone. Oh, the door's opening. He's back. It was quick. I wonder what it was.
Huh?
Let's find out.
What?
What was that?
Oh, just someone at the door. They asked if I wanted to sell the house, but I said, no, I'll keep it.
Cool.
Housekeeping.
Let's keep the house. Very good. I hate you so much.
What? Also, why did you yell at me?
Did you just walk out whilst Ellie was...
Not while she was talking, just before the next bit started.
He made a shit joke.
So you just were like, fuck this, I'm off.
Yeah, I said, I came back, and I said that there was someone at the door.
Yeah, I heard the terrible...
Yes, unbelievable.
So Tom tweeted us.
Yeah, God.
Saying, where is it? Let me find it.
You're so unprepared in this section.
Saying, my new favourite part of the show is the housekeeping intro segment.
Very good, which is why Liam's done this abysmal joke. It'd be funny if I just cut that bit out.
I don't know what you were saying while I was gone, obviously, but I look forward to finding out when I edit it for YouTube.
Yep, it's such a fun segment. We all love it.
I said Ellie won't like that. Ellie said I'm fine with it. And I said,
I don't know why you thought I wouldn't like it.
I thought you didn't like my different...
No, I just think they're weird. It's not that I don't like them.
Oh yeah, they're going to get weirder.
Yeah.
I've started actually planning them now.
Yes, that's weird.
Frankie tweeted us saying it's medicine for your nose, and neither of us can remember what that's about. I think it was something to do with you talking about having nosebleeds, me saying you can get like a nasal spray or something that is medicine for your nose.
Sure.
But neither of us can actually remember what we actually said in that episode.
No.
Which that's nothing against Frankie. That's us and our awful memory.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember what I did in the last 2 weeks for catching up with, so...
Exactly.
It's a miracle that I know I'm on this show.
Yeah. Amanda tweeted us saying that she's hoping we'll do the second 50 Shades movie for American Mother's Day. It's on May the 12th, by the way. She also tweeted saying, will there be a Captain Marvel special?
There will be.
She said, my family also likes to give cards that don't fit the occasion. Like for my birthday 2 weeks ago, my sisters gave me a card for a 3-year-old's birthday. So Ellie, I totally get where you're coming from.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I still think it's lazy. At least with her family, they still are in the ballpark. It's still a birthday card.
But it's funnier when it's not in the ballpark.
No, it's just lazy.
It's not lazy.
It is.
A lot of thought goes into it.
No, none does. It's minimal
yes,
effort.
a lot does.
Minimal
you have to, like I said in
effort.
the episode, you have to pick something that's still... I'm not going to go over it again. Just go listen to the other episode, listeners, where I explained the thought process that goes into it.
Amanda also said, full disclosure, I'm still listening to you as I recover from surgery. It's a good distraction from the pain. And then Amanda did a little tweet, right, where she said, does
I
Liam...
feel like you're calling her out.
Yeah, does Liam know / understand what Ellie was saying about the difference between a cult and the occult?
No, honestly, he doesn't, and it's fucking annoying. I'm glad that someone noticed how annoying that is.
Okay.
When you're trying to have a conversation and the other person just completely doesn't get what you're saying. And then he's willfully ignorant about it.
A cult can practice the occult.
Yes.
I understand the difference.
No, you don't. Because
you still
insist
the cult more
that they
interesting.
were a cult, which they weren't.
How were they not a cult? They had like the robes and everything.
That's not what a cult is. the robes and summoning demons, that's the occult.
No, the occult's all the weird magic stuff.
Yes, which is what them wearing the robes and do. We can't spoil it on this.
No, I know.
We're not in a spoiler-free zone.
I'm just saying,
we're in a
right?
spoiler-free zone. You don't understand. Let's move on.
No, a cult would be a group of robed people practicing
the
occult.
No. A cult is a group of people that have been brainwashed into following a leader or some sort of cause.
That's one definition of a cult.
What?
That's one definition of a cult, is people that have been brainwashed. But you can have other cults.
You think that my definition, which would umbrella in your like occult people, right? You think that my umbrella term is just one. And you think if you opened the dictionary, cult would say groups of people organised together following like one specific leader or an idea.
Well,
and you think description 2 will be people in robes. Because that's what you said. I feel like you forgot that that's what you said. But it is people in robes.
There we go. A system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object.
Yep.
2.
Don't pretend.
No, 2. Genuinely reading this.
Okay.
A person or thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society.
Yeah, like
like a robe.
Yeah. No. No. Anyway, whatever.
I'm just saying, okay. Let me
so the answer is no, Amanda.
The answer
Simple.
is yes, I do. And I didn't like that thing anyway. Whatever.
That's fine. It wasn't, in the end, it wasn't even about whether we liked it.
No. Right, now it's time for the bit that I've been most looking forward to. Oh, I'm so excited.
Is that all the housekeeping?
No, we're still doing housekeeping. That's all the tweets.
Sorry, you said it really weirdly.
Yeah, no. The part of the part of the entire show that I'm most looking forward to, which comes under housekeeping.
Yes. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
We had 2 emails from Frankie, all about Zac Efron.
Insanity.
It's so good. All right, so
I feel so bad for Frankie that you've done this to her.
I didn't do nothing to her.
Transformed her into this Zac Efron mad listener.
I can't help it if Frankie makes perfect sense and is maybe one of the few people in this world to make perfect sense.
In a way, Liam, you are sort of starting a cult.
Yeah, and we would wear robes with Zac Efron's face
you
on
wouldn't.
them.
You will get your hair dyed very slightly brighter.
Exactly. All right, so to start off, Frankie has warned us that this email will have a few spoilers. So she said that she figures Ellie won't read this based on Ellie saying that she didn't read the last one, knowing that I'd read it out.
Yeah. I want to be clear. The reason I don't read most listener correspondence is because I deliberately save it for this, where I can actually react to it.
So Frankie said it's fine. I can skip the spoilers.
Cool. Cool.
So, the first film in this group is Charlie St. Cloud.
Haven't seen it.
Of course you haven't. Right, Charlie St. Cloud. This film sort of came out like quite early-ish in his career, like after High School Musical.
Are you reading out the email or are you telling me about the film?
Telling you about the film.
Right, read out the email.
I thought you might want some like
No, I don't. I just want to hear the email.
context. Okay. So, Frankie said, the first film in this group is Charlie St. Cloud. For a short time, I had a work colleague into Efron, and she said how much she loved this one, so I figured I'd check it out, and also, I was curious to see him in a romantic drama. And I love cheesy romance every now and then. This film, definitely cheesy, and predictable, and not great, but I really liked it.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. Also,
Films like, I've seen films like that.
yeah, also, an Efron first for me, which, Liam, I think you missed my tweet about it because it's probably the only one I've mentioned him in that you haven't liked or commented on. Which, when I read that, I did then go back and like it and apologise for missing it. But I do tend to, like, every couple of days, I'll check Frankie's Twitter feed and be like, has she watched any Zac Efron? And then I'd be really pleased with her or a little bit disappointed.
Harsh.
Yeah. But this film was the first time I actually kind of fell for him. The film has so many shots showcasing how amazing his eyes are.
God, you two don't fall into the trap, Frankie. He's like Zac Efron is a human trap where you get drawn into him and then you can't escape.
Yeah, and
It's a cult. You're in a cult.
also, it was pretty funny to have Dave Franco pop up in this, since Frankie had recently watched Bad Neighbours. Pity he didn't have more screen time. Also, she loved that one of the romantic scenes was running around a graveyard at night with just a candle in a jar. Frankie kind of wanted to jump into the film at that point. Overall, very nice. Then we get into some spoilers, so I'll skip over that. But she does say that this is like a comfort film and one of her top Efron films. So that was Charlie St. Cloud. Also, she does some more spoilers, but essentially what she says is that there's a bit like right at the end that she didn't really care for, and it was just like beyond her threshold for cheesy, and if she rewatches it, she'll just turn the film off before she gets to that bit.
Fair enough.
Since that had gone so well, when I came home tired from work recently with an afternoon free, I decided to go with another romance film and watch The Lucky One, which this one, Ellie, is...
Don't. Just read the email.
Do you not want to know what it's about?
No.
Have you not seen The Lucky One?
No.
So why do you not want to know what it's about then?
I don't want to know what it's about.
You might want to watch it.
No, it's fine.
Alright, so Frankie said that the synopsis sounded alright. Just basically a guy comes back from war and meets a
I hate
woman.
you so much. Stop whispering the plot.
Frankie said she was in the mood for a cheesy film again, but oh, this was awful. All capitals. This was take all the super cheesy things in movies and dial it up by 100. The only enjoyable things were being set at kennels, so dogs. Efron played the piano a little, and the scenes with him and the kid hanging out were okay. Rest was awful. Even Efron's acting. Frankie had to check when this was made, and she's a little surprised that it was a more recent film. You could compare it with Charlie St. Cloud in the kind of character he's playing, and she thought he was better in Charlie St. Cloud than this, which is a bit weird. Maybe it's how he decided to play being a Marine, because in it he's an ex-Marine. Go for a more stoic approach. And then she does some more spoilers. And yeah, she just didn't really like how it ended, and like that was like some redemption stuff, and yeah. So that was the first email. Then to be continued. Then Frankie sent a second email. Brilliant. I love it. Because what's better than one email about Zac Efron, Ellie? 2 emails.
Email about
2 emails. Love it.
It's not where I was going to go, but okay.
So Frankie said, didn't really need to split these emails, but they were split, so she decided to stay with it. This one is shorter, though. So, after the fail of The Lucky One, Frankie decided to change mood completely and watch Dirty Grandpa. Have you seen that?
No, I don't particularly want to.
Let's see if Frankie can change your mind.
Just because I haven't said much for a while, listeners, I've got something that I just very quickly want to point out that Liam does, that I don't know if anyone else picks up on it except me. It's not a mean thing, Liam. I mean, you might think it's me being mean. It's not me being mean.
Yeah.
There is a certain noise you make, right? It's this little sigh you do.
Yeah.
where you're exasperated. You go, "Ah," it's like a. But I can't do it. Like you have an exact way of doing it.
Yeah.
And the sound it makes when you do that sigh, this sounds. It does sound mean, but it's honestly not meant to be mean.
So everyone get ready for Ellie to be mean.
Have you ever heard, when foxes are just out in the street and they just make that like noise?
Yeah.
I think it's when they're having sex.
Yeah.
You make that noise.
I thought their noise was a bit more like loud and aggressive.
Not the scream, not when they're doing the screams.
Yeah.
When they're doing they do like a very specific like
Right, okay.
Honestly, every time you sigh, it sounds like a very distant fox making a mating sound.
I'm curious if our listeners would agree with that.
They probably won't.
No.
A lot of Americans, Americans, do you hear a lot of foxes? Because they've got raccoons. Do they have foxes?
I don't know.
Americans, let me know. Sorry, Frankie. I am paying attention to the email. It's just Liam did the sigh again.
All right. I think you should watch Dirty Grandpa because a lot of people hated it when it came out and I loved it, and let's see what Frankie thought.
Okay.
So she said, this one I've been curious about for a while because it's so divisive. She was hoping that she'd be one of the ones who loves the film, but she's never sure when it comes to comedies these days. When the first scene had me laughing, I was pretty sure I was in for a good time, and yeah, this film was so funny and I really enjoyed it. Great drinking game option in it for every time Zach says, "What the fuck?" especially at the start. Made her laugh every time and was one of her favourite things in the film. Also, the clothes he was given to wear at times were great, and he gets to sing again. Also, I love Pam so much. Pam is played by Raffi in The League, and also he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Jason Masazukis, something like that. Yeah, I know who I mean.
He's cool. He
kind of stole every scene that he was in. The cousin was pretty funny too. There are good supporting characters in this, and cast. Always love to see Aubrey Plaza. This film restored Frankie's faith in her Zac Efron project. So that's some pretty high praise.
Has she done that one about him being a horse rider yet?
No.
That might kill it.
Oh, that would kill it. I think she should save that till last because that would kill it stone dead. That was the Derby Stallion, by the way. So now to Frankie's ranking. Before adding these films, there was a change for the Paperboy. Do you remember she talked about the Paperboy last time and how she watched it, but she couldn't say she necessarily enjoyed it?
Yeah, I remember.
Of course you do. Ellie is shaking her head in a no motion.
I don't remember.
So, Frankie decided that enjoyment trumped performances, and she'll probably never watch it again. But 17 again, she probably would watch again. So they've swapped place in her rankings. Now she had to say, I did hesitate before putting anything above Baywatch, which is silly because it's not a good film. And yet Efron and The Rock are so perfect together. I forget everything else because I love them so much. Had to remind myself to think about the whole film. And now, her current Zac Efron ranking. Are you ready, Ellie?
Yeah.
Do you want me to go ascending or descending?
From the bottom up.
Alright, in 8th place you have The Lucky One. 7th place, We Are Your Friends. 6th place, The Paperboy. 5th place, 17 again. 4th place, Neighbours. 3rd place, Baywatch. 2nd place, Day Grandpa, which puts Charlie St. Cloud as the number one Zac Efron film so far. If you remember, Frankie doesn't include the High School Musical films in this ranking because basically they're perfect.
They're too good.
Yeah. And Frankie said, just so you know, the next update will include The Greatest Showman, which is one of the ones you've seen, isn't it?
Don't patronise me.
Oh, you might have something to input. You liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a good film.
There we go. It's finally starting to cool down, even though it's been autumn for over a month already, and so it's bearable to walk to the library. Have Great Showman placed on hold. Fingers crossed a copy will become available quickly. And a belated response to Ellie from the anime discussion. She has not seen Eureka 7, but she's curious now. Unfortunately, it's nowhere for streaming, but my mail-order DVD rental place has it, so she's got the first disc, top of her queue. She'll report back. And that's it. Frankie says she hopes it was worth all the build-up. I think it was.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Don't know if Ellie would agree with that, but honestly...
it had anime talk at the end. That was a clever thing to do, Frankie, because you put anime talk at the end, so yeah.
Yeah, so
it was worth it.
So now you're like, oh, I want more.
Yeah.
So Frankie, the way to do it, about 800 to 900 words of Efron talk, one sentence of anime. That way you make everyone happy.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, no, to be fair, if you want to make me happy, then you need to do, if you end up watching Eureka 7, then you should watch all of it and then write a really long email review that Liam will have to read out to me, because that would be Liam's nightmare, is just reading out an anime review.
Oh, especially if you start putting in names and stuff.
That would be so funny.
You know, I can't do those sort of names.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do most names. I can't even. Yeah. I don't know why I do a podcast. I'm not good at speaking.
Don't quit now.
On what, episode 88?
Yeah, I think.
87.
You sure?
Yeah. Ellie Likes Robots was episode 86.
Oh.
So 87.
Oh yeah.
But that's also not factoring in all of our special episodes.
Yeah, we don't count.
Probably in triple digits.
Is there more housekeeping, Liam?
Nah.
Trick question. Yes, there is.
Nah.
Last time I asked, you had watched, or you had left to watch, 1,099 films.
Mm-hmm.
You did say at the start of this episode that it hadn't gone down very much.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 1,098.
Oh, are you ready to be pleased with me?
Is it 1,097?
Yeah.
I was going to say that first, and then I was like, nah.
But it is going down because I've stopped buying films.
Not fast enough.
No, that is the problem. To hit the goal, I need to...
Yeah.
But Easter weekend, that's 4 days. I'm busy for 2 of those days, but that's 2 days.
Okay.
Like any other weekend then?
Yeah, you've effectively said there you have a normal weekend,
Yeah.
which you haven't been watching films on, so...
Yeah, I'm aware.
Alright. Well, 97 to go, Liam.
Alright, should we swap some culture?
Let's swap the culture in Culture Swap, the section we do where we swap culture.
Culture swap.
Whose culture?
Our
Our cultures.
culture.
Sometimes other people's cultures. In this episode, Liam tried to claim it as his culture.
Yeah, I did.
But we're going to swap the culture.
Yeah. No one responded, because I think I asked the listeners, like, did they think this was more of a Liam thing or an Ellie thing? No one responded, so...
Because they all think it's both our things, which it is.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, whatever. Culture swap. Swap my culture. We're going to be discussing One Cut of the Dead. Here is the biggest thing I can say about this. Actually, before I go into that... Well, okay, let me go into that. Well, no.
You got so excited. You built to such a peak.
Before...
And then immediately went, actually...
Before we do the spoiler stuff, right? I just want to ask you, for... This is essentially, the way we described it, it was a Japanese zombie film, right?
Yes.
Now, for someone like Amanda, for example, who doesn't particularly get on well with horror films, would you recommend this film to someone like that? Because I'm going to say, like, we've got a spoiler thing coming up, but before I say to Amanda, it's like, I want to know if you think she should watch it before I say stop listening.
It depends on what Amanda can handle, because it's not scary.
It's not scary. It's not particularly gory or violent.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit gory.
A little bit, yeah, but not like
honestly,
ridiculous.
It's so worth getting through those bits.
Yeah.
I would honestly recommend you watch it, Amanda.
The thing is, 100%, this is a sort of film, and I think we might have said this last time, you have to go into it blind.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, if you're planning to watch this film, honestly, turn this off before we talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. If you haven't seen this film, we are now going to spoil it, and it would be such a shame for anyone to listen to us spoil it and not watch the film. I don't get...
Yeah.
Even if you absolutely despise horror, don't care, watch this film before you listen to us talk to it. Or just never listen to us talk about it. Whatever, I'm fine with that.
I mean, my counterpoint would be, if you are never going to watch it, then you can listen to us, it's fine.
No, don't.
Okay.
Just watch this film and then listen to us.
I bet Tom listens to this, and I bet he hasn't watched the film.
Tom, you really should watch the film.
You should. You'd enjoy it, Tom.
Yeah.
Also, you're on your postal rounds. You're probably like not able to reach the pause button.
Well, let's give some time.
No, it's alright. Spoilers. We're gonna
do
spoilers.
This film. Honestly, though, watch this film.
Yeah, they get it.
Do they though?
Yeah.
I'm worried they don't.
I can't do that.
If you're listening right now and you're like, I might watch it, stop listening.
He's right.
Yeah. All right. So.
But I'm bored of saying it now. So let's talk
One
about
Cut of
film.
the Dead. One Cut of the Dead. Here we go. Talking about One Cut of the Dead.
It was good. Bye.
The thing about this is, it's the film. I kind of feel like is split into 3 sections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we just go like one section at a time?
Yes. The first half an hour of the film.
I think it's 40 minutes.
The first section. Is it? It's slightly longer.
Yeah, I think it is. 37 to 40 minutes, I think, something around that ballpark.
It's a zombie film.
It's a zombie film that is all told in one take, no cuts.
One continuous cut.
Yeah.
Which hence the name of the film.
Yeah, it's
Very clever. That bit's very clever, and it's really well done.
It is well done.
Like,
there's a few things that look a little bit ropey here and there.
Yeah, so the first 37-ish minutes are this one cut zombie film. It's not a good zombie film. Like, it's fine.
It's
not
impressive, but it's not necessarily like...
Yeah, exactly. You're sitting there being like, oh, it's really impressive that this is all done in one cut and one take. The film itself is not particularly good. Shit's sort of going a little bit, like, you can see where they make a couple of mistakes. And, like, at one point, one of the actors stands up in the middle of another scene and she's meant to be dead, and she's sort of like, and then goes back down.
Yeah.
And, like, there's little things like that.
Just little things
notice.
that you kind of notice them, but you're just like, I'll go with it. It's a Japanese zombie film. I'll go with it.
And it looks like it was done on a budget from that bit. Like, you're watching it and you're like, oh, it looks like it was on a budget, so I get it.
Yeah. And so all I'd heard going into this film is that the first, like, 40 minutes is this one take thing, and then something happens, and just watch it, basically. That's all I'd heard.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it would stop being one cut.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is so impressive. How are they going to drag this out for an hour and a half, whatever it is?
Yeah. So, yeah, you have that. And there is like a... Because Kat looked it up on IMDb and she went, oh, I know what the twist is. I was like, oh, really? And so, in the context of the story of the one-take film, it's actors making a zombie film, and then real zombies come.
Yes, yeah.
So Kat was like, oh, I know what the twist is.
Thinking that was the twist.
Yeah, but that's
it's
not even the start of the twist.
It's so many levels deep. So what you are watching is the story about people filming a zombie film. Real zombies attack them.
Yeah.
That's one level.
Yeah.
Then the next section is you watching a man agree to make a zombie film.
Oh, yeah.
Where they are making a zombie film and they get attacked by zombies. So then you get a huge section.
That section, though, is really jarring because you get the whole one cut thing, and then a cut, then like a little title screen that says 1 month earlier.
You get, not only that, Liam, you get a fucking credit sequence.
Oh, yeah.
You get a slow pan credit sequence that just slowly zooms out on a girl standing on top of a thing, and I was like, sorry, what's happening? These are the credit. Is this an opening credits? What's happening?
I made Kat watch this with me, and she turned to me at that point and went, "It didn't feel like 90 minutes."
It's so fucking jarring.
Yeah,
because then it stops being one cut.
Yeah.
And you get
suddenly the camera quality is much better.
Improves.
Yeah.
Yep. And you jump back a month, and you're now seeing the director who you have just seen star in the film.
Yeah.
You see him. He's like this director who takes on shit jobs and does a very average job.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his saying is, but it's something like, "I'm fast, but I'm average."
Yeah, I'm fast and cheap, but average. Something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's his saying.
Yeah.
So he takes on all these like shit jobs, and these producer guys are like, "We want you to do a one-cut zombie film
to launch our horror channel."
Yeah, and it's all going to be live.
Yeah.
Like, this will be a live episode that is all one cut, 40 minutes long, deal. And he's like, no, that's ridiculous, haha. And then they don't laugh, and he's like, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you then watch the process of, like, them casting people, and you sort of see that him and his wife seem quite close. Their family seems quite close, but his daughter has issues with him.
Yeah.
Assumedly, because she's quite a, like, there's a scene that sets her up as refusing to use fake tears.
Yeah, so she also works on, like, a different film set.
Yeah.
And she gets very passionate.
Yeah, she's like super into like filmmaking. She's like this director that's like, it's all got to be pure and like the best it can be.
Yeah, and in the scene it's literally a child, and she's like saying to the child like, our film is a battleground, and the mum's like, do you need to be saying this? And then I think she yells some mean stuff at the mum. Yeah. It escalates, and then he's like there, and he's just like, "Oh, that's not." Yeah.
That.
Then she gets kicked off that film set.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're watching her have this like dislike the dad because of this.
Yeah.
He goes into all these casting things. Like, the casting's kind of a shit show. The producers are like rushing this thing out. He's having just this nightmare experience of getting people. Like, a bunch of the actors are really. One of them is so upset because one of the scenes has a zombie pick up an axe.
Yes.
And he cannot get his. He's like,
but
zombies don't use axes.
That zombies act on instinct, and if they use axes, then that's motive.
Yeah, so they're sentient, and they're like, what? No, what?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Some zombies use it, and he's like, no, you have to explain to me.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Yeah, he's like,
So
he's taking this all very seriously.
Yeah. Then you've got the main lead female actress who
Is a pop star.
is like, yeah, I'm so happy to do all this. This will all be really fun. And then there's like a bunch of scenes where she gets blood or sick on her, and she's just like, oh, my agency won't let me get vomit on me or blood or something. And they're like, well, I think it's just the sick. I think she's like, I can't be vomited on for anything. My agency won't let that happen. So they have to like rewrite the script for her.
Yeah.
There's like someone else turns up with a baby.
That's the person who should be doing the makeup. I think that the mum ends up.
Oh,
playing.
now.
Yeah.
It's so.
It's still. I think at this point, it's still very jarring. Like you start figuring out what is going on, but it's just such a like abrupt.
Yeah.
Right, we're going straight.
You're suddenly in this almost because I had seen that it was a horror comedy before I started. That was the only thing I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, like there's some mildly funny stuff in the first 37 minutes.
Oh,
this is where like funny stuff happens.
Like it
gets even funnier.
One of the best bits in the first 37 minutes is where they're just making small talk and they're like, oh, so you've got any hobbies? She's like, oh yeah, I'm learning self-defense. And they're just like, the self-defense that she learns, which is basically
pow,
pom.
Oh, sorry, pom.
Yeah,
pom.
Yeah, and you have to yell pom because that's part of it.
Yes,
but you also like put your arms
cool
straight up and sort of like not squat, lunge.
Yeah, it's a lunge.
It's just it's little things like that when you watch it at first, you're like, it's a bit weird, but I'll go with it. And then like you find out like, you see her watching that self-defense video.
Yes.
At her like,
and you're like, okay, okay, something. I can see there's something here.
Yeah. It slowly starts clicking into place, but it still doesn't quite add up. But yeah, that whole like second section, I think is maybe like the weakest part of the film, just because it is so baffling
but I like it for that. The fact that it's just this sudden fucking totally different thing.
It is.
I think it would have been a weirder film if it had jumped from section 1 to section 3.
Oh, yeah. And the thing that section 2 does, and it's also why it sort of suffers, is it's a lot of setting up jokes that pay off later.
Yes. Yeah.
So, section 2, you do start figuring out what's going on, which is basically, like you said, he's been tasked with making this film. You see them go through like a script read-through. Another one of my favourite bits is you've got this like assistant director who's this like geeky looking guy, and the actor that's taking it all way too seriously is like, oh yeah, well I think you can really see how this is a commentary on racism. And the geeky guy's just like, can you point out in the script to me where it says that?
Yeah. So then section 3 is where the film just becomes pure genius.
Yes, which is you see them making the first section essentially.
Yeah, and you see that, like, so many little things that you either did or did... Like, because there are some things that I didn't pick up on at the time as weird.
Yeah.
But even they are, like, revealed to be someone fucking up somewhere.
Yeah.
Because this whole one cut just goes wrong from the get-go.
Yeah. Like, almost immediately.
Yeah.
Well, even before they started.
It is... Oh, yeah.
Because you have, like, two people don't show up.
Yes.
So
he has to get his wife and... Who else does he have to get to
play?
Him.
He has to play the director.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the director doesn't show up. Yeah. I forgot that there was another guy playing the director.
Yeah.
So he plays the director role. Yeah. And he gets his wife to play the makeup artist.
Yeah.
Then when they start filming, he lets out all his frustration. There's meant to be this opening scene where he has like a very minor go at one of the characters, being like, "You need to be better."
Yeah.
But he just flips out and actually shouts at them for things they've done in the like getting ready for the film. Yeah. So he's like, you're useless, you're not. He's getting so angry.
Yeah.
And everyone is like, whoa, he's gone off script, but he's really good.
Yeah.
And then just from there, everything goes wrong, and he on the fly, or like his daughter in the like editing room are just coming up with ways to make it work.
Oh yeah.
And it is just
so like
it's so well done.
Some things that go wrong. One of the guys has a problem with drinking, and he finds a bottle of sake, I think it is.
Is it unfiltered? No, is it just it's just sake.
Yeah.
He finds sake.
Yeah, drinks that, and is just then horrendously drunk to the point where he can't really stand.
Which is one of the like as soon as they find him drunk in that scene,
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, now the vomit scene at the beginning, mate. Because at the start of the film, you see a zombie throw up on the lead actress, who then halfway through the film is like, no, my agency won't let anyone throw up on me.
Yeah.
That's not like even fake vomit. That can't happen.
Yeah.
So you're like, but she definitely did get thrown up on. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, he's very, very drunk, and he just throws up on one of the other guys that's playing a zombie and like sound guy. Or something.
The assistant director guy.
It is this.
Yeah.
He throws up in his face,
Yeah.
and the assistant director is like, "What is this fluid?
Yes.
Please tell me what this is. Can you wipe me off?" And they're like, "We haven't got time." And he's like, "Please wipe me off. I don't want this. Please."
He looks really shell shocked
It's so funny.
because they're also at the same time. In the story, he's meant to have had his arm ripped off, so they're like putting on like a prosthetic, and they're like covering him in blood and stuff, and it's just
so far.
it's
The thing it does cleverly
Yeah.
is because it's all happening in one cut, and you see like the way they film that third part is the filming of the one cut is going on, but the bits that go wrong tend not to be the actual filming.
No, it's like behind the scenes stuff.
Something, it's something that will happen in the next scene, and it's them getting ready for that,
Yeah.
and that goes wrong.
Yeah.
So like you're seeing this one shot camera moving round,
Yeah.
and the camera you're part of is like moving around that to show like someone in the distance something's happening,
Yeah.
or like it's just so well put together where it feels like that one shot is just going on the whole time in the background,
Exactly.
and you're just seeing different cuts of like stuff going wrong, and it's
Yeah, and like
It's just fucking
it's
genius.
how they fix the things that go wrong as well. Like there's a great bit where in the first bit it looks really stilted, where all of the actors just kind of look at each other and they're not really too sure what to do, and then they all look like
Yes.
towards the camera,
Yeah.
and then you later find out it's because there's someone behind the camera with like a sign that is like, right, this has gone wrong. Here's what you need to
Keep
do
going.
next. Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
going. Just
yeah,
stick
it's
to
like
the script, basically.
he's coming back as a zombie.
Yeah,
Just small talk till we're ready or something.
yeah, exactly.
And they're just all like, oh, and that's when the conversation about hobbies comes up,
Yeah.
and the POM self-defense.
Yeah, and it's just so smart.
It is, honestly. It's so well done.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I just sat there like, this is fucking genius. This is so cleverly done.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
My
Even one of the bits I noticed, or everyone noticed, it's fucking obvious, but like when she in the main film, in the 30-minute or 40-minute film, there's a bit where the main actress, is like the last one left, and she's run down to this shed,
Yeah.
and she's just crouched in a corner, and then you just see she freezes, and this zombie walks into the shed,
yeah,
pauses,
yeah,
and then just walks out. And in the film, you're like, okay, what? A zombie? It definitely saw her, but it just
yeah. Well, there is like
left.
a sort of hint in the film that she has some sort of control over the zombies. Like when she says
Yes,
stop, they will stop briefly.
Yeah, that's true. But then, like, when you actually see that bit at the end, it's just this poor, like, assistant dude
Yeah.
with his legs painted like a zombie,
Yeah.
just his legs,
Yeah.
so that he can stand in the camera shot,
Yeah.
just holding a sign. I can't remember what the sign says.
I
but
think
it's
it says
just fucking
there's an
genius.
axe outside.
Oh, yes. Grab the axe outside
Yeah.
and go to the roof or something.
Yeah.
Because she's just come down from the roof.
Yeah, yeah,
And then she immediately gets an axe and goes back up to the roof.
yeah. And I think she actually says, like, she picks up the axe and is like, "Oh, that's lucky."
I think she says it, like, sarcastically, and, like,
Yeah,
she's like, oh, an axe, lucky me.
yeah, that's it.
And
yeah.
you're like, because in the film you're like, oh, okay, she's sass, fine, whatever. But yeah, it's because she's just like, oh right, cool, yeah, more stuff.
Yeah, there's just like there's just jokes that work. So like one of the jokes is that the director doesn't want his wife in it because she used to be an actress, but she got like way too into her roles. And
yeah,
then
when she plays a character, she gets heavily invested and thinks it's real.
yeah, and then in this one, you just there's a beautiful bit where she's literally just running around like jump kicking zombies.
Yes.
And
Yeah, who are just other actors.
yeah. She's so into it.
She attempts to kill the main female actress with an axe.
Yeah, that.
Like, just actually goes to kill her. And everyone's like, what is that? What?
Yeah, my favourite
so-
joke though is in the middle section. It's set up. There's a guy, and he's like, "I've emailed you. I can only have, I think, soft water." He's like,
Yeah.
"If I have hard
It's-
water,
I can-
it messes with my stomach. I can only
I get diarrhea."
Yeah, I can only have soft water. I did email you." And then like you see the start of the day, and he goes over to this lady, and he's like, "I need to know where the bathroom is." She's like, "Okay." He's like, "I did email you about it. it's really important that I know where the bathrooms are. And she's just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Then obviously he mixes up his water.
Yep.
And you've got this brilliant scene that you see in the first one, but you don't really pay much attention to,
Yes.
where just in the background, he's just sat there.
Because it fits, it looks like he's trying to sneak out.
Exactly, yeah.
And it fits in the film, you're like, yeah, he's trying to get away from, like, this crazy director.
Yeah, yeah. And he's just sat there, not looking very well. And like you said, in the context of the film, sure, zombies are happening, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he tries to leave and the director yells at him, and you find out that it's because he's mixed up his water and he's got real bad stomach problems going on.
Yep.
And then
he just shits in a bush for like 3 minutes while this assistant is putting on zombie makeup and he just cries.
Which it is immature humour, it really is, but it's so funny.
It's just that I think that's the reason that's so funny is because it's so well done. Like, because it's so, like, it's obviously immature humour, but just the I don't know, the way you've seen it happen and didn't realise that this guy shit himself or is about to shit himself.
Yeah.
And then it is the, like, him sitting there and the director just being like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry. And he's like, no, it's fine. Like, I know I've got to go here because I've got to be in the next scene. And the guy's like, yeah, no, do the makeup now.
Yeah.
And he's just, this guy's just squatting on the floor, pooping, and being like, this assistant makeup lady's putting on his makeup.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Just, yeah, like, so many things go wrong. And the pleasure of the third section is just seeing how they keep going. And it ends so sweetly as well.
Yeah, what with the everyone has to form. They've got the final scene of this live action thing, of this live fucking episode, is meant to be this, like, they attach the camera to one of the crane arms, and it does this, like, real slow pan out zoom of the girl standing on the roof,
and she's stood surrounded by this, like, blood symbol,
pentagram of blood or something, and to, like, near the beginning of, I think it's the first time they go on the roof, someone knocks that whole crane over and it breaks, so you're like, okay, something's got to happen here, and their plan is they just get, the moment anyone's not on camera and is no longer needed on the camera, they go over and start setting up this human pyramid. Yeah. And they're just going to pass the camera up the pyramid to slowly, like, zoom out. And it just ends with them all in this human pyramid while this poor girl is just standing in front of them drenched in real vomit and blood.
Yeah. But it's such a, like, sweet moment of just everyone coming together to save this, like, absolute train wreck.
Yes. It is just pure genius.
Yeah. Yeah, so talk me through how you were feeling as you were watching it, because it really does, like...
I mean, it was literally like we said. You watch the first part and you're like, okay, I'm watching a sort of amateur zombie film that's not particularly great, but it's fine. Yeah. And then, part 2 starts and you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I think I messaged you and just said, what the fuck is this film?
Yeah, I just said
go
with it.
And you were like, no, keep... Yeah, you said go with it. And I was like, oh no, I fucking am. I love it. Yeah. But it's fucking weird.
And then the third part, it just all comes together, and it just
and you're just like, this has just been an amazing time, and I'm just happy. Like, it gives you a load of, like, little sweet, like, even the dad and the daughter like getting on again at the end because she's like, oh shit, no, because doesn't he get someone to actually cry or something? I feel like there was a bit where there's definitely a moment where someone's meant to cry and he doesn't use fake tears, because there's that moment where she's like, oh, or something. I don't know, but there's more to it. She's just like, you've fucking put in hard work to make this bullshit thing work. Yeah. So they have this bonding moment, and that's very sweet.
Yeah. It is just... I don't think... When I was first watching it, I wasn't expecting to be so, like, invested in it going well by the end. Because, like, you've seen how it pans out, but you're still, like, when you're watching that third section, you're still like, oh shit, how are they going to fix this?
Yeah.
Which is...
You're like, I know that this works, because I've seen it work.
Yeah. And there's little bits as well where you're like... Oh, wait, like, the big bit I remember for me, I was like, as soon as you realise what the film is actually doing, you know the bit where in the first half, or like first half hour, whatever, they go outside, they're near a car, and the camera's just, it's like dropped on the floor, essentially.
Yes.
And it's just left there for way too long, and then it's picked up. When it all started, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what that's going to be. And it's little things like that where there's so much that's set up in this film that is then just paid off really satisfyingly.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, that bit specifically as well is like, an example of the stuff that you can miss.
Yeah.
Like, because I know that I saw that happen, but the bit I missed was the fact that after that point, the way they film it is different.
Yeah.
Because because basically the cameraman has like fucked up his leg in the car scene.
Or his back.
So this other, he's done something,
Yeah.
he's hurt himself.
Yeah.
So this like assistant camera woman takes over, and her whole thing was like, no, we need to do like these dramatic zooms and like,
Yeah.
which as soon as you then see that happen at the end, I was like, oh yeah, there was like suddenly zooming happening that wasn't happening before. Like I remember in that scene, there's a bit where she zooms in on the person running,
Yeah.
and I remember being like, oh, zoom, but like I didn't notice that the style had changed
Yeah.
until I saw that happen and was like, oh, that's so clever. Like it's genius.
It really is. It's just, I don't understand how someone just sat down and went, let's just put this together like this. Like on the Blu-ray cover, I think it gets compared to Shaun of the Dead. And I get it, like zombie comedy.
Yeah, funny zombie.
But it's very different to Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Because like Shaun of the Dead is funny in that it's like very respectful of zombie films and like a homage and stuff. This is very much like doing entirely its own thing.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, this is like, I don't even know. This is like a homage to not amateur zombie films, but the making of amateur zombie films.
Yeah.
Like, which is just a wild topic to have a whole film about, and I didn't know I needed it in my life, but I do.
Yeah. This is why, like, when I first watched it, we then recorded with Ashley, and I was like banging on about it because I was just like, I need to talk to someone about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, one, we need to do it for a culture swap because I feel like that's the only way I can get you to watch it. But two, I wanted to watch it again to see if it held up on a second viewing. And
do you notice more of the things in the first bit?
You do, but it's still just a complete joy to watch.
I mean, one of the thing, not the bit I liked the most, but like a bit I didn't know I was going to love as much as I did, was the end credits of the actual film, like of the whole film.
Yeah.
Are them showing you how the actual people made this film. Yeah. Which is, so you get to watch the making of a film about the making of a film about people making a film that get attacked by zombies. Yeah. And that is, the thing that's amazing about it is you're watching it, and a lot of the stuff that they do in part 3. Yeah. So like there's a scene where like someone cuts off someone's head, and they have to have this crew standing behind the door who've got a pretend body ready, a bucket of blood, and they have to throw it in at the right time. And for the actual one cut, like they did the same thing in the exact same way, they just do it better. Yeah. Like that's the difference, is when you watch the actual crew do it, you're like, oh, these guys are professionals. Yeah. Like stuff that looks shit is because it deliberately looks shit and they actually know what they're doing. But you just get to watch all these parallels of like professionals making a bad film about it's so good. It's
really impressive. It's we had an email about it.
Who from? Kat.
Yeah, Kat emailed after I reminded her.
Made her.
Yeah. She said, when Liam first sat me down to watch One Cut of the Dead, I thought I was watching a terrible B-movie, Japanese style. Despite the cringy scenes and cringier acting, I did start to get into the story of the movie, and then the twist happens. As we watch from behind the scenes how the beginning film was cobbled together, I began to love it. It's absolutely hilarious and genius. 4 out of 5, would watch again.
Yep.
And we also got a tweet from Frankie, who said, my thoughts on the film, because I did a tweet earlier saying we're about to record, if you've got any thoughts, let us know. She said, my thoughts on the film are simply that I'm so sad I missed it at the Japanese Film Festival last year, because there is no way to watch it here at the moment, and I keep hearing amazing things about it. Hope you both loved it. I won't be able to listen to that part for a while.
Yeah,
which
that's fair.
You know.
When you do finally get around to listening to this bit, Frankie, tell us what you thought.
Yeah, definitely. And I really hope someone, like Amanda, as an example, who isn't that into horror, does give this film a try, because it really isn't a horror film.
No,
but you can't tell people that going into it, because it just ruins it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can say comedy horror because that is how it's advertised.
Yeah, but even so, I do think the less you know going in, the better.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I could convince someone that they were going to just watch a zombie film, and then they watch this, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah. Just for that moment where it cuts to like a month later, and it almost becomes a bit like soap opera-y.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think the racial stuff was?
There isn't any, Liam. That's the joke. let's move on.
No, because typically, right, zombie films are typically used as that sort of...
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what the joke is.
Yeah, so like
that is...
the Romero films, right, the Night of the Living Dead has a whole racial undercurrent. Dawn of the Dead, it's all like consumerism and stuff. Day of the Dead, it's all about military. This one, Blood Sacrifice.
I don't think it's about... Sure.
There we go.
Would you give it out of 5?
I would give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Oh, see, I think I'd give it a 4.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really liked it.
It is really good. I had a feeling you would like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know how to sell it to you to get you to watch it without doing it as a culture swap.
It's a zombie film. I like zombie films.
You do, but it's so much more than that. But I can't tell you that.
Yeah, no, I know, but like that's how you could have got me to watch it. Is you could have gone, I've seen a really cool zombie film.
Right, but I did spend a long time talking about how good it is on the episode with Ashley.
Yeah, and then we did it as a culture swap.
Yeah.
Like for the for the episode after.
Yeah, because you hadn't watched it in that time. I'm very impatient.
Jesus Christ, I know. So, Ellie, what are we doing next time? Well, Liam, we're doing 50 Shades Darker because we missed English Mother's Day, so we said we'd do it for American Mother's Day. Yeah, that's right. We'd have to be real idiots to forget that and tell the listeners we were doing something else and then remember after we'd recorded and then have to make some weird recording later to put in where you pretend to be me, but no one notices because your impression of me is so good. Exactly, Liam. You know, you're real cool, E-Dog. Thanks, buddy.
Tweet us at nerdonnerd.
Yep.
Email us nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Facebook us, facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod, all one word. iTunes, rate, review us, 5 stars please. Leave a review. We haven't had one in well over a year. Be nice to have a review. YouTube us, if you just search Nerd on Nerd, all one word, we should pop up. Or if you go to our Twitter page thingy, I'm tweeting out a lot of links to YouTube videos and stuff as they go up, so you can get to our channel from there. Subscribe so you don't miss anything.
We're also on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're all over the place now.
I just like pointing that.
But you can't really get in touch with us through Spotify.
You could try.
Alright. Any final thoughts, Ellie?
Yes, we need to do more stuff before the next episode.
Why?
Catching up with was shit. Bye!
Bye! I don't think it was. I think everyone enjoyed 10 minutes.